Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and today we're doing the end of the month review. So maybe we did do a number of bracelets, some more interesting than others, but I think I kind of love them all. They're all a little bit different. So we started with this one, 2-color pattern, balanced it out. I thought that we had kind of changed things around because we had started with this, but it looks like the pattern kind of stayed the same. It's just, it's balanced. And I think that's going to be like the kind of running theme through all of these bracelets today, is a sense of balance by centering it and stuff. By the way, this is pattern 75887 over on friendshipbracelets.net. It's a fun bracelet. It's really kind of cute. It kind of has that hieroglyphic sort of thing going for it. I don't know. It's fun, and the colors were great. So there we go. That was our first one. Then we did this one. This is pattern 4003. It really is sort of like an arrowhead that just kind of stutters along. It just kind of elongates this one part. It is a rainbow of colors, but because this part is so long, we probably kind of only really notice the hot colors. We got the greens out here, we got some blue and green in the center. Hardly noticeable considering how much of the hot colors are in this bracelet, but that's okay. It's an interesting look, and yeah, I kind of like that. Kind of fun. All right, the next one was 4483. Again, these are all on friendshipbracelets.net. So this one is a bit of a dovetail pattern, but done so tiny that the bracelet itself is basically a double wide, and it's got an interesting, just a solid dot in the center, and the dovetail, the arrow parts of it. Can you see that? The arrow parts of it are pointing in different directions, and it just kind of makes it a little bit more interesting, something kind of fun. Really cool kumi. There we go. Really cool kumi. Looks like an intense braid or something. Very cool. All right, the next one is 4388. And yeah, this one's kind of neat. I like how it's like dark light in the rows as it goes along. And then like the light row has the dark contrasting colors as dots, and then the dark rows have the light colors for the dots. It's just an interesting take on this particular design. 4388. So yeah, this would look cool in a lot of different colors. You could really play with this one a lot. I think it'd be fun. All right, the next one is this. So this is pattern 4332, and it's a little bit like a braid and a little bit like a Celtic knot, and it's sort of interesting. We have 3 colors doing the braid work, and we have this gray sort of blending in as a background, which makes it really kind of interesting. I like that a lot. You could have used white, you could have used black for the background, but I think because it's just such a basic neutral compared to like the darkness of these colors, it blends in a little bit better. So, you know, you might play around with it, try some different ones, see what you think. If you make any of these bracelets and you want to share it with me, just do that over on Discord. We have a whole like place where you can show either works in progress or your finished works, and in case some of these things inspire you. Okay, so the next is pattern 4535, and that's this cool rainbow plus white, where it's like a single strand of each color coming through, and it's kind of the color itself kind of gets boxed into the center. Let's kind of get a zoom in on that. So it's an interesting stripe of the color as it goes through, and I like that a lot. But then I noticed that there was a possibility, so we did it a second time. This is the second version, and you'll notice that the dots in the center are the opposing color. So this purple row has a yellow dot, or this red row has a green dot. And I don't know. I kind of, now we can actually put them side by side. And I'm curious what you think. Which one do you prefer? I'm gonna hold my preference until later on, until after we see some responses. I don't want to cause bias here, but I definitely, there is one that I like a little bit better than the other. So needless to say, they're both kind of fun. They're both beginner friendly. I would argue that the one with the different color in the middle is perhaps a little bit more beginner friendly, but that's here nor there. They're both beginner friendly. They're both something you could try. All right, our next pattern is 2906. It is this one. Really cool looking blue inside of a brown bracelet. Can we get a focus on this? All right, so we have like a dark brown running along the outside part with this reddish brown and the blue. It's really cool. And the kumi's kind of neat because it just has little pokes of the bright blue really shining through it. Fun bracelet, a little bit trickier to make, a little bit, it kind of slowed me down, I'm not gonna lie, but it's a fun, beautiful looking bracelet. All right, next one. This was to celebrate the 1000th video and going back to the bracelet that I made that kind of started my YouTube channel some 17 years ago, back before I even thought I was going to be doing YouTube. So we made up the pattern itself and took it outside and made this down at East Coast Park, which was a lot of fun. It is a very pretty bracelet. Took me about an hour and a half to make. Again, Mandy makes the coolest kumis. Isn't that neat? So yeah, I'm really pleased with this one. This will be a fun one. I'm going to throw it in the shop. But yeah, this is like, took 17 years before we finally actually got around to making it. So there's that. And then our last one is 3917. And another interesting pattern. It's sort of like a arrowhead. It's just different the way it goes about making the diamonds and stuff. It's an interesting pattern. I think I want to explore this a little bit more, just because it's got real potential. So this is like 3 colors. I think it might turn out really cool with 6. So we'll see about getting into that. But that's what we made for the month. What do you think? If there's any that you're particularly interested in, just go take a look. There's videos and patterns and all kinds of stuff for these over on my website, akawall.com. Thanks for watching, and as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.